Okay, so this is the preview for the Bank of England. Carney marked in. Carney is staying until 2019. That overshadowed the decision so far this week, but tomorrow is the big day. Super Thursday. Why is it called Super Thursday? Because we have a rate decision, meeting minutes, and the quarterly inflation report. We have BOE meetings every 6 weeks, but only every second meeting we have the quarterly inflation report. Like the Fed, there are more important meetings and less important ones. This one is more important. So back in August, when the Bank of England announced the comprehensive package, they cut interest rates from 0.5 to 0.25, added more QE, added a few more programs, and they gave us heavy hints that in November and their next inflation report, they're going to cut rates once again, probably from 0.25 to 0.10. But since then, the pound fell even more. Remember, back in August, the pound was trading at about 133, 134. Now it's at 122. I'm talking about pound dollar. Of course, weaker also against the euro, weaker against the yen, weaker against everybody. And since then, this weakness is also reflected in inflation. Everything the UK imports costs more. Okay, so we've heard from Carney that he's not indifferent to the exchange rate. And the exchange rate is not a target, but they are not indifferent. And when they see inflation rising, they're not. There is no urge, no rush to cut rates, no rush to add more to demand, no rush to weaken the pound. Okay, so no change is expected tomorrow. But of course, it's not only about the moves; it's also about the talk. They always publish this inflation fan chart, a projection of a range of inflation in the future. It's important to see if they moved it up because of Brexit, because of the weaker pound, or not. The more important question is, when will they act? Okay, so if not now, when will they act? They'll probably not give us too many details. Okay. We'll see the response to the post-Brexit strong economy. GDP came out better than expected. Other figures look good. It's also political maneuvering over there. Will they say, okay, we're surprised by the rise of the economy now is thanks to the exchange rate that helps exports? Or will they say, okay, that's just temporary, things are going to get worse? Another question that we're going to ask ourselves tomorrow, are there any dissenters? Are there members of the Bank of England that wanted another rate cut this time? This could hurt the pound. Of course, a unanimous decision is expected. Okay, what can we expect for the pound? If there's a long horizon for cuts, okay, inflation is higher, the pound is weak, we're not going to cut rates anytime soon. We could maybe see the pound bounce back up. Okay, maybe a dead cat bounce in the bigger scheme of things, but we could still see it bounce. If they express worries about the hard Brexit, then we could see the pound weakened. We can see more expectations for a rate cut and a further fall to the lower levels. Has the pound bottomed out? That's a question that is an open question for me. It depends a lot on what happens tomorrow. Let's just take another look at this chart to complete our segment about the British pound. In the bigger scheme of things, currently we're at the 122.50 level, very much entrenched in range. Level of resistance here that I see, is at 123.20. Let's zoom out just a bit to see that level. Okay, we've seen that last week, 2 weeks ago, and support 121.70, further support 121, and of course the round number of 120. To the top side, we have above 123.20, we have 124.50, and above that, it's pre-flash crash levels. Okay, so it's not, maybe 127.90, the initial post-Brexit low, is worth mentioning. I believe that they will not help the pound too much. Okay, maybe a bit, but I don't see a big move. Okay, that's our preview for the Bank of England. Super Thursday, November 3rd.